Not enough players are paying attention to what's going on around them. And if they're not scared yet, well, maybe they should be. Somewhere growing up, you probably heard this phrase. If all your friends jumped off a bridge, would you jump too? Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel today. In the world of Magic the Gathering, there have been so many changes since 2018. It's really hard to recognize the same MTG finance world that I kind of grew up and started in. Things have really shifted. With the introduction of things like the set booster box and the collector booster box and the separation of these products from draft boxes and what Wizards of the Coast offers us, it has never been more imperative that players are aware of what they're getting into. Because the odds are against anything inside those boxes nowadays. They're against anything. Now, what I mean by that is trying to get any particular card by opening a box really is a futile expense that you shouldn't even be trying. You should just be buying the single. Now, a lot of us are aware of this and we just pick up single cards whenever we need to nowadays, and we avoid the boxes unless it's for just a fun time with some friends or something you had planned out at a local LGS. I understand all that, so do most of you guys out there. But it's that idea of the changes Wizards of the Coast has brought to the game, and the fact that a lot of people kind of forget and still buy these things regularly. I mean, right now, from the stores, the information I get, I can tell you in the MTG finance worlds, sales are up, and they really shouldn't be. The amount of boxes being sold, especially for things like Lord of the Rings, are through the roof, and they really shouldn't be. I mean, logically speaking, it shouldn't be happening in my brain, and the finances don't make sense. The numbers don't add up to the value inside the box, but that doesn't matter. The keeping up with the Joneses, the hype, the excitement has people still buying these products. When you go out and buy a new product, any of the new lines of products that Wizards of the Coast has given us, anything from Jumpstart to Secret Layers, all these products, and I forget the whole reprint thing. Let's just forget that for a second. We know they're going to reprint it, but forget that. The value and enjoyment level, that's what I want to talk about. You buy the card, you want to get it now, you like that artwork, that variation of the artwork, you want to put it into a deck, you want to enjoy it, you want to bling your deck out, you want to keep up with the Joneses and the excitement. That is understandable. I can follow that logic, and it's your money and it's hard-earned money, but somebody out there isn't just buying a single. The boxes are being bought, and they're being bought a lot. Yeah, I get it's probably just the Timmies, the more educated players who have looked things up and learned for themselves and found YouTube content creators they enjoy and follow their kind of logic on how they break things down. Even channels like myself, I get that. There's quite a few people out there doing it, but there must be so many other people not doing it. That freaks me out. That scares me. It probably should scare you too, because that means Wizards is having success, which means things will get worse before they ever have a chance of getting better. It freaks me out. I mean, the fact that we have the sales as high as we do. And no, I didn't buy any boxes. I know a lot of you guys didn't either. There's singles being bought. I see the pre-sale prices are probably going to add up in the next week or two and really start coming into my top 10 videos. I can see it kind of adding up, and I can see the accumulation of numbers. But guys, it's just the sheer amount of boxes. Now, take this whole idea of all these different products selling at different levels. Poorer players buying Jumpstart stuff. Intro decks are being bought. Bundle packs get bought. All that stuff is being bought by different variations of people at different price levels and different price points, but they're still being purchased. Now, you jump over to the market of reserve list spending. There is money slushing around in the reserve list. It has been dwindling. We saw a surge on the weekend, which was a little out of character from where I thought things would be. It isn't what I anticipated in the market. I expect a lot of low-end cards at lower sales. Instead, we saw people taking advantage of pricing. But that's a one-off. That's 20, 30, 100 people, 200 people. Out of millions of players, 200, 300 people deciding to step up and buy cards at price points they thought were acceptable. But that in itself, does not steer the reserve list market. The reserve list market is going to do what it wants to do. It's going to be appealing to certain players at certain price points. Certain cards are going to be attractive and interesting. Other people like myself like certain artwork, as well as certain game mechanics, things like Soul Devi Excavations. I don't know why it made the top 10 the way it did, because I didn't do it. And that's usually when that card moves, is when I make a move on that market. And I didn't make a move. So other people did, and I find that interesting, but I'm kind of wondering why at the same time. I mean, other than the tinfoil hat army of my card. Everyone likes to have that card if you watch my channel. I get that. But beyond that, why is an extra that level of copies sold? But it's not going to be a regular occurrence. With everything else in the world, reserve list spending will probably stay at a lower level for the next little while. Certain cards will become very attractive. People will buy it. I think at this point, hopefully out there, if you're watching, if you're one of those type of players, you didn't leverage credit cards. You got a clear balance sheet on the credit card. 0 owing on your credit card. Or don't buy any Magic cards. Just common sense. Never hurt friends or family. You don't borrow money to buy Magic cards. It's a luxury item. You buy it with liquid cash that you have available. You want more? Go get another job. Get an extra job. That's what I do to make sure I can afford some of the extra cards I want to save up for and purchase. Don't use credit cards. Don't hurt friends and family. Don't borrow money. You got to keep all your bills and stuff in check. And let's face it, rent, everything is up. Accommodation, food, heating, everything is up right now in this inflationary world. I mean, our interest rates in Canada went up again. I'm not sure if they went up in the States, and overseas, I don't know how you guys are doing, but having our rates go up is kind of funny. And then I saw an Instagram thing where it showed like, hey, in 1981, interest rates were like 13.84%. And my parents joke about having 17 and 18% mortgages. So we're definitely not where that is, obviously. But it's still very high to see interest rates go up to 6, 7, 8%. That's difficult for people to afford. So things like Magic cards, probably as a luxury, and the success Wizards is having with those price points, really makes me wonder where the car hits the wall. Where the dummies go flying out and see where they land and then see how much damage was done. That's what I'm waiting to find out. And the fact nobody really seems freaked out about it kind of like makes me wonder, like, did everyone jump off the bridge and I'm the only one standing here? Am I the only one watching everyone else down there floundering? Wondering what's going to happen? Because I'm still making sure I keep all my bills in check. You get that feeling like, hey, I'm going to keep saving for the cards I really want. Anyway, I find that area of this game fascinating because I don't think we're in a regular place right now. I know the markets are moving okay. I know I'm still buying stocks and bonds when I get a chance. Things that pay me dividends from solid things like Canadian banks and stuff. I know a lot of you guys out there do the same. We've talked about it on the Discord, on email. You can always hit me up with questions. You guys know my email's in the description of the videos. And I find that great. And then the stores I deal with are all fantastic. They send their data every week or so. They let me know how the pre-sales are going. Certain cards I inquire about, like reserve list cards. But just the sales are still really steady. It's like everything's kind of just going along and chugging along. And everyone's still participating and playing. And I've seen upticks at local stores with people showing up and playing games again. I don't know. By the way, it's still all Commander. I'm waiting to see if Standard gets revived. I know everyone says it's going to stay dead. But I'm wondering if that's going to get revived if Wizards keeps poking the dead thing. Just keep poking it and see what happens. I'm wondering if that will come around. But it really does kind of make me concerned that nobody seems freaked out by it. It's not something really hitting the wires out there. The only thing I've been hearing about is these Lord of the Rings cards look great. So many cards are going to fit into Commander. And I can't wait for Commander Masters. That's the next thing I'm hitting. I'm going, wait a second, but it's all reprints. Yeah, but I can't wait to see what reprints they put in. And that blows my mind. Everyone's just oblivious to everything else around them sometimes. Makes it interesting to see what's going to happen next. It's going to make for a fascinating discussion to see if anything goes flushed down the toilet later on and you say, oh man, we should have saw that coming. I don't know. I don't know if I'm not looking at something the right way. You guys will let me know. You slam some comments down that comment section later to let me know if I'm missing something here that everyone else is seeing that I'm just not. Is the old man just yelling at the wind to tell it to stop blowing and it's just not listening to me, or am I missing something? We'll see. Anyway, I want to thank you all for hanging out with me today and taking a serious look at this because the markets are really well right now. Magic cards are selling. People are buying. Singles as well as cards. I saw a whole bunch of new players buying like pre-constructed decks this weekend and like starting to tear them apart and talking to the LGS to pick up individual cards to fill it out. It was pretty cool, but at the same time I'm like, that's a lot of money you guys are spending, which of course makes the LGS happy. So I'll be curious to see where that all goes. Guys, thanks a lot for hanging out with me today. Thanks for allowing me to entertain you, and hopefully I raised some questions for you guys to think about. And if you got some good answers, slam them down in that comment section. Join the conversation of this Magic world, because I think we're going to be sticking to singles for a while for most of the people on this channel, but I'm still wondering who's buying all those boxes. It's crazy. All right, guys, have a great one, man. We'll see you tomorrow. And of course, a big shout out and thank you to the fantastic patrons of the channel. Thanks again for being here and being supporters of this channel. Without you, this kind of content's just not possible, guys. You all know it's true. So thanks again for supporting the channel. Patrons, you rock. Are you guys there? Did you make it to the end? All right, we got something to discuss. Now, this is interesting only in that it already happened. I got the information afterwards. So it already gone by. Some guy walked in to a local LGS. Don't need to name names here. Walked to an LGS. Asked them how many boxes of Modern Horizons they had. You know, like the, what was it, 2018, 2019 product? And they bought 30 boxes. 30. On a credit card. 30 boxes. 30. Just makes you wonder. And yes, I asked if they got a discount, and no, they didn't. 30 boxes, guys. 30 boxes. That's crazy. Anyway, put down 30 boxes in the comment section. That way I know you made it this far. 30 boxes. Modern Horizons. Not Modern Horizons 2. This is like the one with, you know, Sarah the Benevolent. Yeah, 30 boxes. 30.